If you've been following along with my Twitch or YouTube streams, you've probably already have seen my Sims 4 legacy family. They're called the Howelsons, and currently they are 2 generations deep. I've played already in a couple of different houses with them, but I felt that it was time to build a new house for the 2nd generation of the family. Now before we dive into the speed build, I wanted to do a quick introduction to that family. So let's take it to past MrJordilicious so he can show you who's already part of the family. Alright, here we have the founder of the family. This is Brooklyn Howelson. He started this family, he's the first sim in this legacy challenge, and he actually started a relationship with Dallas. And Brooklyn and Dallas live in this apartment here that was actually built by my husband. If you want to download it, you can get it on the gallery. Now Brooklyn loves being active, so you can often find him on the treadmill. Even now that he's an elderly sim, he still loves working out. Oh, and speaking of the devil, there we have Dallas. Also loves working out, but also likes to write children's books. He's got a series of children's books about Johnny, with the bestseller Johnny is 4 and his parents are poor. So here we have Brody, the child of Brooklyn and Dallas, and thus the 2nd generation sim in this family. Now, Brody is currently engaged to Sydney. Long story short, he got a phone call about this weird inheritance that he got from a great nephew. And if he wanted to claim the money, he needed to get married within 7 days. Now, I'm not really usually one to take like big leaps like that, but I figured, you know what, this could be a fun little storyline, so let's just dive right in. So he recently got engaged on a keg party, and they are soon planning to elope and just get married so they can hopefully get that inheritance money. So let's actually start building that house by going back to present day Jordy. Now with that introduction out of the way, let's move right into the speed build so I can show you the house that I've built for Brody and Sydney. So for this house, I already came up with a neighborhood that I wanted my Sims to live in. I picked this lot in Windenburg. It's a small lot, but I think with the rest of the houses around the lot, I think this industrial house will fit right in. So as I said before, this house is going to be for my legacy family that I play with on stream. They're currently a 2-generation family. They're not really that big. It's just Brody, Sydney, and the other 2, the founders of the family, they actually passed away on my stream last week. So that was kind of sad to finally see them passing away. They already did grow old and they had a very long life, but it's still a sad moment when your Sims pass away. By the way, if you want to see those streams, I stream The Sims 4 pretty regularly here on YouTube as well, so definitely go check out those streams if you want to see more of that. But I wanted to go with a bit of an industrial loft style home. Now I saw one on Reddit that I actually really liked that looked very cool. It was a pretty small house, and I figured, you know what, let's go with this industrial style. I got the industrial kit as well for this house specifically, because I knew that there were going to be a lot of objects in there that I thought would fit very well with a house like this. Now, initially, I tried building a bigger house. I went for a bigger lot here in Windenburg, but when I was building it, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to have that big of a house. Because even though the family definitely has a lot of money, I still didn't feel right to make a house that big on a lot that big. So I kind of went back to the drawing board and came up with a smaller design for the house that in the end, I'm actually much happier with. So here we are building the outside of the house. I already came up with the layout of the roof and the house itself. The windows are already picked out as well, because I did build this house beforehand already a little bit, so I had a bit of an idea what direction I wanted to go with, because I kind of had a hard time coming up with a layout for the house itself. Now, also these windows, I did really like them, but I wasn't really sure if they fit with the rest of the house. So I went with these big open windows because I kind of like the idea of having a big open windowed house with lots of natural light that comes in. Also with the front of the house, we have those big open windows that show you the loft side of the house. I really like that. So yeah, also a very basic outside pattern that, again, I feel fits very well with the industrial style of the house. The inside, it has a nice glass staircase that I think looks really cool. And I also like it that it goes around the corner. I really like that. I wasn't sure if that was possible in The Sims 4 always, or if they added that later in an update. But yeah, I really like that the stairs actually curve around and go around the corner. So it is a pretty small house when you look at it. It only has 2 bedrooms, 1 big bedroom that's basically the upstairs area of the loft. And then there's a smaller bedroom that I think we're going to be using for a future kid. Now, there's no kid in the family just yet. But obviously, you know, with it being a legacy family, I do want to expand the family at some point. So there will be some expansion. Now, there won't be space for 2 children, I think, unless I get twins right away, or I get them pretty short after each other, then it might actually work. But yeah, if they're going to be more than one kids, then maybe it's going to be an issue of where they're going to sleep, where they're going to stay. But you know what? That's something for later. You know, for now, it's going to be fine. There's not that many people in the family anyway, so we'll see when the time comes what we're going to do with that. So yeah, so here you see me placing down some windows. I already looked up some windows that actually fit with the doors that we have on the outside. I really like these big open windows that sort of come out of the house. I think they are part of the Eco Lifestyle pack. They're not actually part of the Industrial pack, but I think these are the Eco Lifestyle windows that I actually really like. And we've used a lot of the Eco Lifestyle stuff throughout the entire house because I think it also fits with the industrial vibe and tone of the house. Now, one thing that I really liked with these small, long windows, these horizontal windows, is that you can actually place them on the roof sections as well. And even though you can't really see inside there because, well, let's face it, there's nothing really there, I did like having the idea of having windows on those sections. Now, this is also something in the bathroom that I came up with myself. I wanted to actually have a see-through glass panel on the shower. And I was looking through the wallpapers, and there's not actually a see-through glass wallpaper, which might make sense. I thought maybe there would be a glass wallpaper that you would be able to see through, but apparently it doesn't exist. So I came up with this solution, having this big window and this 2-section wide piece of wall that allows you to actually look inside, that allows you to actually look through the wall itself. And I think when you're standing in the shower, it actually makes for a nice sort of shower divider, but also it makes the bathroom very open and light, which I really like. Then I placed down some flooring on the outside, some flooring on the inside. Again, lots of industrial looks. We got some concrete on the inside, which I think looks really cool and fits really with this house. And then already I can start decorating. So I start decorating with the living area of the house where we're going to have the TV and the seating. But I kind of hop around a little bit with the decoration because I kind of struggled with decorating things. Also, what you saw me placing down just there was the burglar alarm that is new with the update that was released this week, actually. Or maybe when you're watching this, it's already like a past week. But yeah, it was released in February. There was a big update with burglars in The Sims 4. So if you haven't updated your game yet, maybe now is the time to do that because that's an entirely new gameplay feature that they're going to be adding. So yeah, so here we are decorating the living room. Again, lots of industrial themed. I got the lights from the industrial pack. I think the coffee table is also from the industrial pack. And a big TV on the wall. Now, I did want to have a luxurious house, but I didn't want to have it be too luxurious and not making any sense for like this family. Because again, they are wealthy. They do have a lot of money, but they don't have that much money. So I didn't want it to be insanely big. Now for the kitchen, what I really liked was this open kitchen floor plan. And what I really liked, the idea of having a sort of like an island where the sink was going to be integrated with. Now for the fridge, I was kind of struggling which fridge I would like. I wanted to have a nice fridge, but I also saw this fridge that I think came from the cottage living pack that I actually really like. And I think also fits very well in an industrial style kitchen. I did have to move the doors a little bit because they were blocking the doors with the fridge. But in the end, it wasn't that much of a big deal of moving the doors, just like one slot open. And then also these cabinets, these upper cabinets, I did like the red color scheme. And you will actually see throughout the house that I actually use the red color scheme quite a lot. And there's actually a lot of different objects that have some sort of red in them. I think also the couch and the sofa I will change later to have a little bit of red in them. And then red is actually a theme that comes throughout the entire house. I didn't plan on using red, but in the end, you know, it just sort of kind of happened. And I kind of went with it because I did like the look of red. It's not my favorite color or anything, but I did like the look of it, and it did totally work out with the theme and the style and the vibe of this house, I'd say. So yeah, adding some more appliances here in the kitchen. We've got a dishwasher, of course. Now that I think about it, now that I see this, I'm not sure if I actually added a fire alarm. So if I didn't, I haven't uploaded this to the gallery just yet. If I didn't, I might have to add that later because obviously a fire alarm in The Sims in a kitchen is pretty important. So we're definitely going to be adding that. And then here what you see me place down is actually these room dividers. I really like them. They're actually very big and very tall. This entire house is with the medium height walls. And luckily this room divider also came with different heights that you could use with the different height of the walls. And I'm not sure if it's going to be annoying when actually playing it because, you know, it won't be hidden when it's just like, you know, in plain view. It's not like, you know, a cabinet or like a light that you can't see. But I do think that, you know, it actually is pretty cool, and hopefully it won't interfere too much with the gameplay. And if you zoom in enough while playing it, I think you should be fine. Also, what I just now saw is that I did actually add the fire alarm. So luckily I didn't forget that, because again, that's very important in The Sims to add that, because you don't want to have a fire. Because in my experience, I don't know what it is, but whenever there's a fire on my Sims' lots in the kitchen or like wherever, they just sort of stand around and start waving their arms and kind of like, you know, freaking out. And even though I select them to, you know, like extinguish the fire or call the fire brigade, they don't really do that. They just sort of stand around and just freak out, which I get. I mean, there's a fire in your house, you know, nobody likes that. But again, you know, like I tell them to extinguish it, like, you know, do something with it, and they just don't do that. So I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or if they just freak out or whatever it is. But yeah, I've never had my Sims put out a fire by themselves, because it just doesn't seem to happen. Now here I was struggling a little bit with the placement of some random objects. I did see some techniques on how to add them by using the Alt key and moving the objects that you want to put it on, moving them away a little bit, then, you know, free placing the objects behind that, so you aren't constructed by slotting on some of those items. And I'm actually very happy with that. I'm still sort of learning and struggling with how to integrate the core items and like clutter, because I feel that I'm not cluttering enough. Now, of course, that's also a very personal opinion. Like, some people like a lot of clutter, some people don't like clutter at all. I kind of like clutter. Like, when I'm looking at other Sims creators that I really admire here on YouTube, I see a lot of them using a lot of clutter, and I actually really like that. It makes the house look very homey and cozy, and I kind of like having a lot of clutter in my Sims' houses. But I'm not really good at cluttering myself, so I'm kind of still learning. Hopefully I'll get there at some point. I'll do my best, but yeah, it's not really where I want it to be. All right, and then for this corner, I was also struggling a little bit with what to put there. So in the end, initially I wanted to have a bar area. I kind of had that in my previous build that I said before, like the bigger house, I had a bar area as well. But then I thought it wouldn't actually make sense in a smaller house like this, having a big bar area with, like, you know, bottles behind it on racks. I thought it might not make a lot of sense. So in the end, I went with more of an office and computer styled area here. There's going to be a bookcase later on as well. But I wanted to have a, you know, a nice place where you could sit behind your computer and do some work, maybe play some games, chat with some friends, whatever. I removed those windows initially because I thought, you know, you can't really have a desk in front of a window. But then Peter, my husband, actually came in and looked at the house, and he kind of gave me some pointers and some tips. And he said that, like, yeah, why can't you put a desk in front of a window? It's not like it's a refrigerator or like a stove or something like that, where it might not make a lot of sense that you place that in front of a window. But with something like a desk, I think you should be fine. I think it's actually not that bad. And then I actually placed down a bookcase. I really like this big wooden bookcase because, again, I feel that it fits with the industrial theme. And also there's a lot of spaces where you can put like some random clutter. So I added some statues, like we got a statue of a dog and a cat, which I think is really cool. I think I added a statue of a fox as well, and then some plants on the bottom, which in hindsight, maybe plants on the bottom might not make a lot of sense. I kind of like it still. I feel that it's still kind of nice, and having a lot of green in the house definitely works. That's also a theme that I go with in the entire house. I have a lot of green. Also in the hallway, you will see me decorate later. I'll add a lot of like green and plants. And in the backyard, I have a lot of green and plants as well, because I feel that, you know, like this house doesn't have a lot of color from itself, you know, from the wallpapers or the flooring. So I'm feeling that with plants, you actually add definitely some more color to the house. And while we are decorating here the rest of the bathroom and the hallway later on, I feel that maybe this is a good moment to give you a little bit of a life update, like what I've been up to, where I'm going, what I'm doing. Because I haven't made a lot of videos in the last couple of weeks. There's a reason for that, which is that I've started with a new studies a couple of weeks ago, and it's taking up a lot of time. Every single day I need to study, I need to, you know, attend meetings, I need to go to school sometimes as well in the afternoons, several times a week. So yeah, it's taken up a lot of time, and I didn't really have that much time to actually make videos. So I really was happy that I was able to make this video when I did, because I really wanted to have this video up online before I would continue with my Sims streams, and I would move my Sims into this house. But yeah, the studies, I think I've mentioned it before maybe. It's an IT study, so I'm actually learning more about IT, and hopefully after I'm done with the studies, I'm able to work at an IT service desk. That's basically the goal of completing this studies, is going to be to be able to work at an IT service desk, because that's going to be something completely new for me. I come from like a marketing and social advertising background. I tried getting into UX design a couple of years ago, which I did for a little bit, but then I lost my job there and I discovered that it's really hard to actually get back into that if you don't have a lot of experience, which I didn't have. I got one job in that field and I didn't really do a whole ton of UX design in the end. So yeah, I don't have a ton of experience. And unfortunately, experience these days seems to be the key word if you want to get a job, which honestly, I kind of find very annoying because people like me and like, you know, there's many people like me that want to try something new. Maybe they are just out of school, out of an education. They want to try something new, but they don't get a lot of opportunities to actually try that something new because most companies, they ask for like a ton of experience. I mean, sometimes it even goes completely crazy. Like a friend of mine mentioned that one time he was looking for a new job and he saw a vacancy for a new programming language that actually only existed for like a couple of years. Like it was a pretty new programming language. But then the vacancy actually asked for like 10 plus years of experience. And he told me like, yeah, that's crazy because the language itself doesn't even exist for 10 plus years. So how am I supposed to have 10 plus years of experience with something that doesn't even exist for that long? So yeah, hopefully with these studies, like hopefully there's a lot of companies or like there's several companies out there that are willing to give me an opportunity to actually learn more when I work with them. And then hopefully after that, I can just continue my journey in IT because I am already on the side learning some more about IT. I really want to get into programming. I'm doing that in my spare time. I'm trying to learn how to program and like I'm trying to learn some more programming languages because I don't have a lot of experience with that either, but I really enjoy doing that. I really discovered that I enjoy the act of programming. So I really hope that in the future, when I get like in the IT field, maybe I can find a job in programming or in coding and start doing some more in that. So yeah, I'm really working on like my future right now. It feels like it's a lot of work right now with the study and like with focusing on my study. And I'm kind of having a hard time sometimes with it as well because I have ADD and it's really hard to focus on some of the materials because some of the things are not really that interesting. And that makes it really hard for me to focus on it because I really read a lot and there's like a lot of text and like a lot of terms and things that you need to learn, but yeah, I really struggle with focusing on it. So yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm doing all that I can. And yeah, hopefully in the end, I can graduate this education with a diploma and try finding work in that field. But yeah, that's also why I haven't been able to make a lot of videos because again, I've been studying so much. Luckily, I've been able to do my streams still, both here on YouTube, but also on Twitch. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to catch one of my live streams. Again, I play a lot of The Sims 4 lately with this legacy family, which is also what we're building this house for. So you'll see this house coming back on the stream. Now, currently in the game, what you just saw, we actually decorated a lot of the bedroom. We did the upstairs bathroom a little bit as well. The bedroom is not completely finished. I mean, I'm gonna add like a lot of details or like some clutter and some other things later. Now, I did want to have a treadmill because I know that my Sims really enjoy working out. They really like working on the treadmill. So I did want to add that to the upstairs area because we don't really have a lot of other room. Like there's not a separate room where I can make like a home gym or something like that. So it is gonna be in their sort of bedroom. Now, I also thought about, wouldn't it be weird if my Sims have a upstairs bedroom and then the child or like the other person living there needs to go through the upstairs bedroom technically to get to their own room? And maybe it's not necessarily the most logical way of setting up a house, but it's, you know, it's The Sims. I think they're gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be okay. But yeah, I decorated the child room for now. Again, there's no child in the family currently, but there will be one hopefully sometime soon. So we need to be prepared for that to happen. So I already did decorate a child's room so that whenever that child inevitably comes, they have a place to sleep. So yeah, I think that's also the biggest part of the inside area done. So we're gonna move on to the outside area and the backyard. And I had a little bit of struggles with that sometimes as well. Now we'll see here first, I'm gonna add some lighting, some seating on this little porch area that we have on the back. But I also wanted to have a pool in this backyard. And if you might have already noticed, it's not a massive backyard. So it's kind of, I was kind of struggling like, where is the pool gonna be? But I did find a nice place for it. However, there was a bit of struggle with the tiling around the pool, and we're going to see that in a little bit. Also, speaking of free time, next week, when I'm filming this, next week I have a week off because it's Carnival here in the Netherlands. So a lot of people are gonna, you know, celebrate that. Not me, because I don't really do that. I don't like Carnival. I don't like the music. I don't necessarily like the people usually because they're gonna be like loud and obnoxious. Not really my thing. I'm just going to take that time to do a lot of studying, like catching up on things, taking some more time to study things that I had like trouble with, or that I was having a hard time focusing on. So yeah, that's going to be my thing. But yeah, this is what you see. Here I had trouble with adding some floor tiles around the pool. Now, I'm not sure if it was because it was a circular pool. I tried Googling, I tried looking it up, and I feel that it should be possible to have tiles around a circular pool. But yeah, for some reason, I couldn't really do it. Then in the end, I decided to go with a square pool with, you know, square edges. And then all of a sudden, it totally instantly worked. So I'm glad that I was able to fix that issue, because I did definitely want to have tiles around the pool. I wasn't sure what tiles I liked. Kind of like these concrete tiles that I went with in the end, because again, it kind of gives for a more industrial vibe of the house. Now, also here, you will see me add some things that later, spoiler alert, later they will be replaced with something else. Now, I did recently buy the cottage living pack, and I bought that for one specific reason. I wanted to have chickens in my house, or I wanted to have chickens in my family house. So I bought that pack with the idea of building a future house, which is going to be this house, where I could have chickens. And then I was done with the house, and then a day later I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, I added like all kinds of cool plants, and I really focused on the landscaping and the decor of the backyard, but I didn't have a space for my chickens. So a day later I actually went back into the house, into the build, and I tried to find a place for the chicken coop. I did manage to do that, but, you know, the caveat is that I had to remove some of the landscaping that I was actually kind of happy with. But yeah, you know, sometimes you have to kill your darlings. Also, these landscapes, these bushes on the side of the house, they are going to remain, but I had some trouble placing the bushes on the back side of the house, and I think it's because of the foundation that the house is on. So I tried using move objects, but it didn't really totally work. So I lowered the house, lowered the foundation, which did work, and then I raised the foundation up again. But then later, I actually discovered that the bushes were clipping through the walls, which I didn't like. I don't like it when, like, you know, bushes or plants clip through walls. So in the end, I decided to remove most of those bushes that are on the backside of the house. Yeah, again, we're going to do some more decoration here with like landscaping. You know, we're going to fill up some empty areas that we have in the backyard. I also going to do some more like floor paint. I've never actually done any floor paint on my houses, but I've seen that again in some other Sims builders. I kind of like the idea of adding some floor paint around like the outside of the house, around like bushes and like landscaping, and actually making it a little bit more dynamic. Yeah, we're almost done with the majority of the house. Again, I'm going to add some small details like these sofas that you can lie on the outside. I added some lights on the outside as well. But yeah, this is mostly the almost the end of the entire build. Like I said, we're going to do the floor paint. We're going to do that. We're going to make some added additions to the pool to make it look a little bit nicer. Other than that, we're almost at the end. So I think once we get there, I'm going to actually take a sim, or I'm actually going to go into the game so I can show you and give you a tour of the entire house. Now here, we add some more lights on the pool. Again, adding some finishing touches. But other than that, the house is pretty much almost basically done. And I have to say, I was actually very happy and proud with that. I really liked the way that it turned out. It's smaller than I initially envisioned, and it's definitely smaller than the first house that I built for this family. But I think this is more of a realistic house, and I think it makes more sense for them to have somewhat of a smaller house compared to having a ginormous house with just the 2 or the 3 of them if they're going to have like children. So I figured this would make a lot more sense. So yeah, so here I discovered that the bushes were clipping through to the house, and I'm gonna remove those, and I'm gonna add some lighting and again some finishing touches on the inside of the house here, because I thought it was a little bit empty and dark, because I looked at the house also in nighttime and I noticed that there were some dark spots in the house that I didn't really like. So I was gonna add some more lights and some more green to the house to make it look a little bit more, I don't know, like less empty, I guess. Also, I discovered that I forgot to actually do the upstairs balcony. I didn't put any objects on there, which obviously, you know, like if you have a balcony, you want to have something on there. It's not a big balcony, so I just added a telescope and a chair, and that's it. They can sit there, they can enjoy some outside time, look at the night sky, hopefully not get killed by a meteor, but, you know, if it happens, it happens. You know, it's still The Sims. And then again here, we're going to do the floor paint and the landscaping, and that's basically almost everything complete. You know, and again, I'm very happy and very proud with this house. It looks really cool, I think. I like that it's more of a dynamic shape. Also, the roof is more of a dynamic shape. It's not just a very basic generic roof. But, you know, I'm actually very proud with this. So I'm very curious to see what you guys think. If if you guys like it. I hope you do. Definitely let me know in a comment either on the gallery or, you know, on this YouTube video, because I'd love to hear what you guys think. Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier. I'm actually went back into the game to add this chicken coop. So I removed that landscaping and I added a fence around this area so that the chickens would be able to roam free a little bit. It's not massively, it's not a massive area, but still the chickens would be able to roam free without walking through the entire backyard, because I saw that that could be an issue and I didn't necessarily want that. So I removed these tiles and added the floor paint, and with that, adding some more landscaping on this side again to fill it up a little bit more. But with that, we are definitely almost at the end of this build. Few finishing touches, just some more landscaping, just some more floor paint in the chicken coop area. But other than that, the build is actually fully complete. So let's jump right into the game so I can give you a tour of the final build, and so I can show you what I've done everywhere, what the house is going to look like, where everyone is going to stay, and just give you like a nice tour and like a nice overview of the entire house. All right, so here we have the house. You can see the outside of the house. It looks very cool. Again, I really like the roof that is not very symmetrical. I like the way that that looks. We've got the small backyard, but it does have a pool, so that is a very nice extra feature. So let's go into the house. Let's turn off the grid for now. So here we come in. We have the front door. Here we have the hallway over here with the lots of green, like I mentioned before. We've got the shoe rack, and of course the new burglar alarm is also integrated there in the wall. Then we have the downstairs bathroom area with a shower and a toilet, so your Sims can both shower upstairs as well as downstairs. Then when we move through this arch here, we come into the main living area with the seating area over here with the nice shadow boxes on the wall, the big TV, and of course the smart radio speaker system over there. Then when we turn around, we actually got the nice industrial looking kitchen with the red accents, all the amenities that you need. There's not like a ton of space, but there's enough space to prepare your food. And then of course also here we have the island where you can sit, eat your food, wash up if you have to, but also you can obviously also prepare your food. And there's a journal here, so if your Sims want to write something in their journal, this is the place to do that. Then behind the island here, we have a foosball table for a little bit of entertainment in the house, because I thought this area was a little bit empty when I first built it. And then when we turn around again, we have a big empty area here where Sims can just walk around and dance if they want to. But also here we have the office area, if you will, with the big PC and of course the bookcases, so your Sims can read something there as well. Well, speaking of the staircase, let's go upstairs to the loft area. So here we have the loft bedroom with the big bed and the lights on it as well. I really think these lights are a very nice touch for this bed. It really makes a nice area, especially at nighttime when you see these lights illuminate this area and also the bed. It's very cozy and very nice. So I think that looks really cool. And then we have the upstairs bathroom with the bath in the center of the room here. And of course a toilet and a sink as well that Sims can use. And then we have the kids' room next to that with the bassinet. And of course the giant stuffed animals in the corner here. And then when we move outside, we've got a pretty simple balcony with the telescope. And of course we've got the chair here so your Sims can sit down and relax outside as well in a nice summer night. Then going back downstairs to the outside, we have a cozy seating area here on the porch. We've got a grill here. And then moving down, we have the pool area with the lounging section. And then, of course, we also have the chicken coop, for which I had to redecorate the backyard a little bit. But in the end, with having chickens, I think it's going to be totally worth it. I've never actually played with chickens before, so that's going to be a first for me in a Sims game. But I'm actually very excited for that. But yeah, that's the entire house. So we are going to put it on the gallery. So we're going to put it on the gallery. It's got 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. All right, so you guys can go ahead. It's called Industrial Loft Home. You can find it on the gallery, MrJordilicious NL, where you can download it right now. Definitely let me know in a comment on the item itself or in the video what you think of this house, because I would love to know that. And I think that's also going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see this house in action with my family, I stream every Monday over on YouTube. I'm going live with The Sims 4 usually lately, so definitely drop on by and say hi in chat if you see me. But for now, thanks so much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you on a next build video. For now, happy simming, happy building, and don't forget to play with life.